the education system isn't really staying up to speed with what's happening in the reality of the world around us. At the top there, the top point I've got is the artificial intelligence and machine learning are disrupting all aspects of life. So this image popped up and I thought how true this is, that the machines are using artificial intelligence, the robots, the computer systems are actually gathering and harvesting data, and then without any explicit instruction are then able to have output in doing certain things, whether it be facial recognition, whether it be predictive text, whether it be recommending a product to us when we're doing our search, or even on Facebook if you're on Facebook. And then here we are, the humans, all just hooked on checking our mobile devices. And so I thought that was quite fascinating to consider, particularly in the midst of what's happening here with the disruption that it's having on all of our lives. And that's why there is a need for students and individuals of all ages needing to have a more personalised way of engaging in education and engaging in learning. And of course, most parents and students will agree that the education system as we have it now is really not responsive enough to what is happening. In fact, it's focused more on being content-driven rather than being skills or process-driven, which is essential to help our young people to get the skills they need for this new future of work. And the other issue that we have is the post-pandemic youth unemployment, that young people are underemployed. So we've got young people who are graduating and they may have a higher education qualification, but they're not finding the employment. So they're taking up jobs for the sake of having work, whereby they're not utilising their skills and their learning that they have. So this is a big issue now as we progress into the world of work and also the future opportunities. One of the major things that I see emerging are the skills that are needed. And I've done some investigation into this and found that over the time, we see this shift in the skills that happens pretty rapidly now. At the beginning of this century, we were talking about 21st century skills or soft skills. We're now talking at a whole different range of skills, but still building on that foundation. So here, when we talk about digital skills, this is all about the skills that we talked about in the 21st century skill set, whereby people need to understand how to use the tech tools, but they also need to go even further than that, in that they need to be able to use those tools to be innovative and creative, and also to create things that are more relevant and also that are more up to date. So we've got this mastering of the digital tech skills, especially in the areas of understanding what algorithms are all about and how to design them, and then how to handle the data. So that's what we call the digital fluency or digital literacy, where it's not just about the tech skills, it's all about being able to know how to harvest relevant information and then to use it and analyse it and synthesise it, and then to be responsible in how we're creating it back. So if we've got the computer systems and machine learning are actually using that data that we're creating, then we need to be responsible in how we're doing it. So this is a skill that young people are going to need in their future, especially as they move into this area where they're going to be exercising their creativity and they're going to be solving meaningful problems in a new way. Like if we think about some of the sectors in industry, you know, health, we need to be dealing with health matters and problems in a different way than what we did, say, a decade ago. So this is something where if they're learning these new skills, whether it be health or finance or engineering or science or whatever it might be, they're able to use their creativity in innovative and original ways. And that means thinking imaginatively across disciplines. So knowing that what they might create in one may have impact on another. And in fact, it would be powerful if they're creating something that will have benefit across multiple disciplines as well. So this is where we need to be smarter in how we work in the future workforce, in what we bring. And this is where our young people really need to be in that space. Another skill that they're going to need, and even now we're seeing that evident, is the skill of collaboration, that ability to no longer just work on your own and do your own thing, but to bring others on board and to combine the thinking that sits behind that. So all of us think in different ways, and some of us are great at doing the brainstorming, divergent thinking. Some of us are really great at taking all the ideas and bringing that down and using convergent thinking to say, well, this is the best solution. So if we're working collaboratively together to do that, then we're actually able to produce far more productive output than what we would as an individual. And I know, Leonie, we've both had experience in high school or secondary school education, where as the students go through, it tends to be more individualised learning. Is that what you've experienced as well? You might just be on mute there, Leonie.
There we go. I turned it off. Yes, especially towards year 11 and 12, where it's all about preparing for exams. So it's very much students setting up their own, study processes and so on, and it's done individually. However, having said that, my youngest son, when he was actually sitting for his exams, he would get together with a group, and they would go to the library in Perth and spend all afternoon. And Joel said he learnt more in that 3 or 4 hours of collaboration with his friends than he did in hours and hours working on his own. So even he recognised the power of collaboration in helping him understand, because everyone comes to things from different perspectives and it helps you understand things better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's that second point there, adjusting your actions in relation to other people's needs. So this is where we need to be focusing, and this is where I'm afraid the current education system, particularly as young people get older within formal education, it's making them more an individual rather than preparing them for the world of work, which is the collaboration and doing that. And then the whole concept too of understanding now what global citizenship means. Once upon a time, it was all about being a responsible global citizen and doing your bit to save the planet. Whereas now it's far more than that. It's really a case of, the new future of work. The young people are going to have to be able to work with other people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different values, and working together. So they're needing to understand what it is to embrace all of that diversity and be inclusive in what they're doing. So that's a new skill.
Can I just interrupt there too?
Yeah.
With things like Open University now, there's also that notion of having people from all over the world come together to be in the same units, which is quite different to going to a campus where the demographic tends to be sort of much more obviously in that country. But with Open University, there's very much more that global aspect where you have people who are literally in different time zones all over the world working together, and when there are team tasks to do and putting things in discussion boards, it's absolutely fascinating getting different cultural perspectives on problems and those sorts of things as well. So again, the technology is allowing that more and more within education.
Yes, and the whole 24/7 cycle of the workforce that's going to be emerging as well is going to be crucial. And that's why this particular skill is essential for our young people. And then this is probably one that we may not have had previously in the past. It kind of percolated, but now it's become quite evident that environmental stewardship is a key skill as well, because we're going to be having organisations that are going to need to do environmental impact studies. And if we were to think about new transport systems or infrastructure or new land development or maybe natural mineral extraction, how that can be done sustainably and responsibly, even how we can sustain agricultural systems so that we can produce our own food. So this is a skill that's going to be in place as well. And there you see the key words, understanding the fragility and finiteness of the natural ecosystems, and then how we can interact with that so that when we're being responsible and we're sustaining it for current generations and future generations. So these are a whole group of skills that are absolutely crucial and are now becoming quite evident.